Hey.
Okay.
I can't see anything.
What are you supposed to see?
Me on there.
I can see you.
Oh, yeah, you're on there.
And
I can't see me.
You're consider yourself lucky.
That's a good one.
Well, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Yeah, that's true. You don't probably want to talk shit about how he looks.
Yeah, somebody asked me if I tried that new face app thing that makes you look old, and I said, "Why? I have my father."
My dad's right there.
I don't need an app to show me what I'm going to look like when I'm 65.
Yeah, I did use that, and I was like, I look like my grandpa, because it makes you look really old.
Everyone says I look exactly like my grandpa. Especially
Which grandpa? My father.
Yes, especially.
Oh, you're a clone of me. I'm a clone of him.
Especially when I was back east. Joanne said it, and her brother and
Joanne's two brothers.
Joanne's brother came down with his wife.
Oh, I forget what his name is.
Greg.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Old Greg.
Yeah, he was.
And they said exactly the same thing. You look just like your grandfather.
Which looks just like your father.
Whenever someone tells me I look like my dad, I just tell them I hope not too much. Just throw it in there.
Well, Nate is blessed.
Well, but then Joanne said to me one day, she said, your body type is a lot more like my boys than your dad. And I was just like, what the fuck? Just tell me I'm fat, lady. Just...
Nice.
She said, you've got a lot more of that build than comes from your grandmother.
Your mother was looking online at Sam's Facebook, I think. And
my Facebook?
No.
Oh.
We don't talk about
Oh, God.
You.
That's like weird.
We don't talk about you. On Sam's Facebook.
That's probably good.
And he put down that he lost weight and he's under 270.
Scoot the mic in closer.
And he said...
Okay.
He said on his Facebook that he hasn't been 270 since he could figure out what his weight was. It's a big boy.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Wow.
I mean, 270. My brother's I think he's 225.
I still have never hit 2.
He lost a bunch of weight before he got sick.
Well, he lost a bunch of weight because he had cancer.
Because he was sick.
And he went to the team doctor and he said, I've lost 15 pounds this week. And
what's going on?
And the doctor said, you need to go get checked out right now.
Because I remember when he was still with Carolina and he gave us those tickets and I saw him on the field. He's a pretty big guy. Looked like pretty much exactly like you, just kind of fatter. Stockier.
Oh, he looks like my mom.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I could see
a lot like my mom.
It's always just still so weird to me every time I hear your guy's name get brought up on ESPN or something. It's bizarre.
The name Gettleman has become synonymous with doing something bad. That's what Bomani Jones said.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Bad drafts. We'll see.
Yeah, well, you got to give him time.
Well,
they've been talking shit since he picked him, so...
Well,
you got to at least give him he's a quarterback. You got to give him a couple of years.
But they're not talking shit about him anymore.
Oh, they still do sometimes. It's just because it's not football season yet.
Well, kind of.
Yeah, they're doing training camp, and they just had the first preseason game.
This weekend.
Yeah. But I saw some video of Daniel Jones in Giants practice just sailing the ball.
Yeah, I saw that too.
But then I also saw them say, like, in practice he went 7 for 11. So I think they only showed his 4 misses and not the good. I mean, the misses were bad. But if you 7 for 11,
were the misses miscommunications?
Maybe it's like their first practices. He doesn't know any of these dudes yet.
That seems more likely for a first year quarterback.
Yeah,
7 for 11.
It's just he's not quite on the same page with the receivers yet. So
I mean, he was trained by the guys that trained, or the guy that trained the Mannings, Eli and Peyton.
Yeah.
So now he's learning under Eli. So he's only going to be getting the same lessons that this guy taught him, but more from the guy that's actually been in the NFL.
He attended the Manning Passing Academy as well.
The Manning passing.
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. I mean, if you held the record for all-time passing yards, wouldn't you open up the passing school too?
It might have been open before then. Who knows?
Pretty sure
Brady
it was.
be
It's
the
probably
most
like
passing
his.
yards.
Brady doesn't have as many passing yards.
He's up there.
I
He
would
could.
think
I mean, he's got a couple more years in him, but I think Drew Brees might break it before Peyton, because I think Drew Brees is ahead of Tom Brady in passing yards.
Yeah, well, that's because New England has always had a decent run game behind Tom Brady as well.
Yeah, but without really good running backs, except for
And
since Corey Dillon.
That's the genius of Belichick, is that he can have these no-name running backs, but he puts together a good offensive line, and behind an all-pro offensive line, a mediocre quarterback will look like a world beater.
Yeah, he's just
except
their
Brady's
system
not
is crazy
mediocre.
good. Brady's always throwing to receivers that are wide open,
Who?
and Brady is, and they don't have the best receivers, so they just got
Was it
really good offensive.
Edelman?
But
He single-handedly crushed the team during the Super Bowl.
yeah, the Falcons.
He
That was-
single-handedly crushed
That was
them.
bad. I hate the Patriots. I hated that
was-
Super Bowl so
Wow.
much. I was so happy, and it was like the end of the third, and they were winning 23-8.
Yeah, Arthur Blank was down on the field ready for the award ceremony. He's owner of the Falcons.
Tom Brady said, "Hold my beer. Give me a second. I've made a couple comebacks before."
And then the Falcons just started looking like the Falcons.
Yeah.
Well, he threw to Edelman like a million times, and Edelman was just doing short passes.
Edelman and Gronk. But now he doesn't have Gronk this year.
He didn't need
I
it.
was reading that
Everyone's saying he's going to come back, though.
that the 72 Falcons had the best defense of all time, but they just had a terrible, terrible offense.
70s. I can't remember back then.
Okay, well, I don't know why I asked you about it.
70s Falcons. Not a Falcons fan. Maybe you'd remember if he was a Falcons fan.
No, I wouldn't.
Okay. You remember the Patriots defense in the 70s?
I know they sucked.
Yeah.
He remembers
That's fair.
He remembers Nosi Tutupu.
And Tui Esosopo.
Fun names. And also both connected to Seattle as well.
Yeah. Lofa
Mostly
Tutupu
played
was
here for a bit, didn't he?
well, no, his son Lofa Tutupu was
Lofa Tutupu was
a all-pro linebacker.
he's one of our best linebackers ever. Probably behind Bobby Wagner and KJ Wright.
He didn't get elected to the Hall of Fame, did he?
No. I don't think he had the longest playing career
Well, he's a linebacker,
for whatever reason. I mean, some linebackers play forever. Like James Harrison.
I think of him more as like a hybrid linebacker safety. He was like one of the first guys who was like
He
strong
was just
like
a rusher.
strong like a linebacker but fast like a safety.
He was really fast, but all his thing was strength. Have you ever seen his workout videos? It's crazy.
I saw James Harrison in person. He made eye contact with me one time, and
You lost 5 pounds immediately.
just terrified. I said, I can't tell if he's just mean mugging me or that's just his face. And everyone just says, that's just his face.
Where was he
Yeah.
bugging you? Where was this?
This was in Charlotte.
When they played there?
Yeah, the Steelers played the Panthers, and I was on the field for that.
Oh, for the summer. For the,
Yeah. It was-
Oh, you just went for that one game? That's when
Yeah.
you went to
yeah,
Carolina?
there was a preseason game.
That was a bust.
On one of the previous episodes, we were talking about smart cars and people taking turns in smart cars and whether or not they might flip over.
Oh, yeah.
So I found this video that's going to shed some light on that.
We said it would, for sure. Let's see if we're right. Wow.
Didn't fall over.
It didn't flip. Is it going to flip now, though?
It's going to hit the... Why are they laughing?
I mean, it looks like it'd be kind of fun. They're like a little go-kart. But yeah, it seems like it would flip if you turn too hard. But,
He's in reverse at this point, I think. Yep.
oh, yeah.
There we go.
So just don't turn too hard in reverse. See how much stuff came flying out of it when it rolled too?
Yeah,
just-
including almost him. Like he came out the
Whole
sunroof.
car's just held together with duct tape or something. Made of plastic.
All right, jolly old England.
Are you well? Yeah, I guess. I just flipped a car.
Staying in the UK, this clip comes to us from Scotland, the city of Newcastle.
Whoa. Whoa.
I'm surprised it didn't break. Those sound pretty meaty.
Yeah.
She did break a little piece of it.
That guy's just caught in the crossfire. But he's going to wish he never got involved.
Oh, is he about to get hit? Damn, into the pole too? That was awesome.
He was going to come back and run him over again.
That's what you get for trying to fight a car.
Well, that car did hit him as he was walking down the street.
I still wouldn't try to fight the car. I would get out of the way.
Yeah, I guess you just take down the license plate and file a police report.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I mean, he was
Good God.
he was just caught up in the crossfire until that one.
Yeah, well, you got hit. That's what happens.
Here's one that made me laugh.
Oh, that's so mean.
Did they put on hair remover?
Tape.
Right when he ripped it off, they slapped another one on. That's so mean.
Yep, he's just sleeping there. Boom, hit him with the tape. Very, very hairy legs.
That's like a Middle
like
Eastern
you.
guy or something.
he's just resigned. He doesn't.
As he should be.
Yeah, I hope nobody gets me with that, but I think I might try to. I might get Danny with that one.
He'd probably get you right back.
Oh, this is a great one. This guy's doing some backyard wrestling here.
Oh, God.
That hurt.
You guys okay?
You guys okay?
How did the guy that was upside down not, like, die? Like, break his neck?
Okay, dude, what's wrong?
What's wrong?
I shattered my tailbone.
Yeah.
That's what's wrong.
You were recording. You know exactly what's wrong.
Do that again in slow motion.
I just like it. You guys okay?
What's wrong? We just jumped off a roof through a table.
I can't play in slow motion in this video player. But we can watch it again. Whose idea was this? Why did this guy agree to that?
You guys okay?
They're just both screaming.
Their screams are pretty funny.
Well, that guy's screaming. That guy can't
Okay, dude,
scream.
what's wrong?
He got all the air out of his body. Oh, man.
How stupid can you be?
Very.
Okay, this video is not of anyone getting hurt. I just thought it was kind of amazing. This is of a Olympic hammer thrower. We don't speak Russian.
Holy shit.
That's pretty amazing.
How do you keep your control?
And how do you time your release point just exactly where it needs to be?
Doing it 5,000 times.
Yeah, practice.
How
I
many
guess.
times do you think you'd have to do that before you even just got the release point down?
Forever.
1,000.
Oh, my God.
Oh, and by the way, she threw that thing over 70 meters.
Mm-hmm.
How heavy are those things?
But did she win?
I think they're 15 pounds. She's a world record holder. I think Olympic hammers are probably the men's ones are 15 pounds and the women's ones are 10 pounds.
Jesus. And she's probably upset she still didn't throw it completely straight. Could have got a couple extra. I'm saying she's probably upset.
Doesn't matter. The line's curve.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's a good.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, this one's not of anyone getting hurt. It's just funny. There's a monkey washing a dog.
That dog looks like he's pretty all right with it.
Well, the headline was, "Am I a joke to you?"
Monkeys are crazy smart. It's weird.
Monkeys are pound for pound the funniest animal.
Yeah.
He ain't trying to get out.
He is confused, though, I feel like.
That monkey's got his head controlled, too. You're not getting out.
He's just seen the guy wash the dog enough times.
Stiff arm.
When I was bartending at Anthony's.
It's a swanky place, too.
It's a nice place. So it was like a Monday night, not in the peak season, so it was kind of a slow night. Towards the end of the night, the manager was standing up at the bar, just kind of bullshitting with me as things wound down. And he was like a military guy, so he was a bit of a raunchy dude. So all of a sudden this smell hit me like a wall, and I froze, and I looked at him and I said, "I hope you farted." Because in my mind, that was the most benign explanation for the horrendous smell that had just hit me. Mm-hmm. And he just looked at me with a straight face, said, "No, I didn't fart." And that's when 5 seconds later, one of the waitresses said, "Ew, that's disgusting." There was just a turd, just a log sitting on the floor right in front of the bar.
And you did what?
I went to go restock the liquor room at that time while somebody else cleaned it up.
Yeah,
I was like,
right.
Time for me to take my bottles up.
So what happened to the guy?
What?
He stayed for dinner?
No, we think that it was an old guy who had an accident during dinner and just kind of shook it loose from his pant leg as he walked out. Oh. That was we didn't have cameras in there or anything, but that was our best guess at what might have happened.
Ugh.
I don't know.
Or someone just
shit
themselves and left out of.
It was like right in the walkway, like in the middle of the dining room.
Wouldn't it be a pancake instead of a log? He sat on his shit all night long.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it snuck out just as he was standing up.
Yeah. I'm a shit. I'm gonna sneak out.
It's just, old people it takes them a lot of energy to get up. You know, if you're like, you know,
could have been a normal person. If I was somewhere and I happened to shit my pants, I would leave. I would not stick around to let it be known that I'm the one that shit on the ground.
I don't know.
I haven't shit my pants since I'm 28. I actually did shit my pants in Thailand.
Nice. I'm glad I didn't go to Thailand with you then.
Thank you for sharing that.
Well, it was a couple nights after me and Donnie and Stu had gone to this crazy fireworks festival, and ever since that night I wasn't feeling quite right. And this was probably I don't remember if it was the day after or the next day after, because I had straight diarrhea for just like 3 days after that. It was probably the second day. I woke up, in the morning, and I was, feeling kind of weird, but I knew I had to get some food in me, so I went downstairs to the the restaurant of the hostel. It was just the restaurant lobby, hangout area all in one. I got some French toast and a smoothie, and I was thinking like, okay, I think maybe I'm through the worst of it. So I'm sitting there talking to Donnie and this Australian girl, and then I was mid-sentence, and I felt the fart coming, and it wasn't a fart, and I tried to hold it in, and it just wasn't happening. Mid-sentence, I just feel some hot liquid shoot out, and I just stopped my sentence.
I gotta go.
And I didn't say anything. I just got up and I went to the bathroom.
We're done here. Bring the pizza in.
And then I threw my underwear away, because you have to do that at that point.
Yeah.
Frozen.
What?
I brought Frozen.
Okay, we're ready. We're ready for you in the for the advice segment.
All right.
Okay, we're switching out parents.
Am I getting thrown out?
Yeah, you're getting thrown out.
Did you?
Because your advice sucks.
Yet? What?
Your advice sucks.
No, it doesn't. You haven't again.
You told me to wear stilts on an NFL sideline. Your advice sucks.
Why? You'd be able to see the game.
I can already see the game.
No, you can't. No, you can't.
So,
Yes.
You're at head level with everybody.
I think it's a good idea because I want to see it. It'd be hilarious.
Everybody's like 12 feet tall. They're a football player. We got him.
Yeah.
Wear stilts.
A solution to a problem that did not exist.
are we moving to Atlanta?
No.
You gotta scoot it. You gotta.
At least not at the moment.
Okay, you're fine there.
You're what?
At least not at the moment.
Why? What do you have going on?
Well, before it was just that Stu wanted me to move down so quickly, but now he's talking about January, so maybe. Well, I gotta think if I want to stay here and do something or if I want to go there.
But you haven't done anything, so
Yeah,
why don't you
'cause
do
I haven't
nothing
tried.
down there?
Well, I'm gonna have a job down there.
Well, yeah, that you won't know anybody, so there won't be anything for you to do. So you could go down there and find a job.
Talk into the microphone.
I don't.
And also, when you look directly at Sam, the back of your head is pointed towards the
but
camera.
I'm talking to Sam.
So look over here when you're talking to Sam. You don't have to look at him. Don't look at him. Don't look at him. Don't look at him.
I know. I might actually. We'll see. I haven't decided yet.
I just think, what do you have to lose?
And that is a good point.
And do you know what? Seattle never moves. So if you hate it, you just come back.
Could move if there's a big old earthquake.
But Mom, you can never go home.
You do all the time.
Well, I know I come here to steal food.
And
But Seattle is not the place it was when I left. It's not the place it was when I was growing up. It's certainly not the place it was when you were growing up.
Yeah, that is also true. As when I was growing up, was always I never wanted to leave here. I love it here, but it's changed so much in the past. Like,
I'm not saying you have to
10
move
years.
forever. It's
I
just
know.
like having adventure.
and that's
in your
something
life.
I've thought about too. Is just maybe move down there for a year or two.
Yeah. You know, and the girls down there don't know you. They don't know you're weird. So, I mean, you might.
Thank you.
Stu seems to find girlfriends, and I'm not sure how that happens. So there we don't
Right.
edit that out. Don't.
Nah, we'll leave that in. Stu won't watch. It's okay.
He doesn't subscribe.
Our real friends don't watch.
He doesn't subscribe. Okay, so what do you want to ask me?
Oh, we've got a couple of advice articles put up. If people are these are just people ask Reddit,
Okay.
their advice, and if anyone's gonna make their living mining Reddit for content, why not me?
All right.
So I'm gonna
Read the question. All right.
I'm gonna read the question, and I guess you can give me your ruling.
I will.
Okay. The first writer says she's got a friend who has a no filter persona. Says my friend, we'll call her Bridget, is not like other girls. She makes those posts on Facebook, talks about it, etc. It can get a bit annoying, but the biggest issue I have with it is that she, quote, has no filter. Now, I'm all for speaking your mind because free speech and all of that, but there are times when you need to have a filter. She's the type to point out when things are awkward between two people. But when they're pretending to be civil for the sake of the group, just to get through this outing before they don't have to see each other again. Makes things awkward. If someone is on their phone a bit, she'll wave their hand in front of their face and say, hey there, and then call them on it. If they have a fashion sense that's odd to her, she'll make fun of them, even if they ask her to stop. She'll also tell you really random graphic stories about her past, the same ones over and over. It's sad the first time, but your cocktail anecdote should not be, my house burned down when I was 11 and my uncles died 2 days apart, plus I think they haunt me. It says the uncles didn't die related to the fire, they died of disease, yeah. Makes people feel awkward, which, you guessed it, she calls them on and laughs about. If you call her on any of this, I have no filter. A lot of our friends don't like this. A bulk of them, including myself, chalk it up to that's just Bridget. The other night, we're all hanging out, and one of the guys had brought his new girlfriend. We were all talking about fairly light, funny topics. Suddenly, Bridget brings up her uncles and started talking about their sickness in excruciating detail. I can tell that the new girlfriend was getting pretty weirded out, and I told her, hey, maybe we can talk about the time they took you fishing. That's a funny one. But no, she continued until she was done. Then the room got quiet, as it always does after she tells this horrible, awful story about 2 men dying of cancer. She looks around, bursts into laughter, and goes, well, now none of you have anything to say. Our friend's new girl looked humiliated, and I just felt bad for her. I say, Bridget, you need to cut this out. If you keep this up, people are going to stop inviting you to hang out with us. No one likes the way you talk to them. We've told you in the past. She looked incredibly hurt and said, sorry, but I don't have a filter. Apparently, she's still hurt and thinks I'm an ass. I do feel bad, but at the same time, I'm sick of how she treats us as a group. Am I being an ass?
No. Bridget's an asshole.
Yeah, I think Bridget's an ass. There's levels of not having a filter. I've been told that I don't have a filter, but I'm certainly not going to say, why is one of your arms shorter than the other? I mean, I'm not. I wouldn't.
Is this a specific example?
No. You've had a few of those moments.
When I was 3 in the Kmart with the guy with the green spiky hair?
He knows what he looks like. I said, stop staring at him. He knows what he looks like. But no, and I think you get away with a lot more of that if you're older. When you're in a friend, you know what I'm saying? When you're in a friend group, especially if they've told you to stop.
Yeah.
It's not funny. I think I would say she has, she might have some sort of Asperger's.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. People pull out this no filter thing as kind of an excuse for having terrible social skills.
Right. So she apparently wants to join in the conversation, but she doesn't really have anything to say. So she brings up her weird story.
But then that also reminds me of people who will instantly give you their whole life story. Like you meet them, and the very first time you meet them, they're telling you about how their uncle fondled them under a table when they were 8.
I just hate people like that.
And how their mom was an alcoholic and ditched them when they were 12. It's like, I don't even know you.
It makes me feel so uncomfortable. It's like, I don't know this stuff about like my friends.
Yeah, if you want to tell me that after we've been friends for a while.
I don't know.
Did it happen to you?
No.
No, you're right. No, I just, and even if you've been friends for a while, there's maybe there's a few friends or one friend that you might tell that to. But if I were that girl, I would pass her off a card to a licensed therapist.
Yeah.
Because she needs help.
Yeah, especially if you keep telling her to stop doing that.
Yep.
Just stop hanging out with her. Why do you?
That apparently they have because she's still hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I would think that a person like this has cycled through a few friend groups where they, they tolerate her for a couple of years, and then it's okay. Nobody really wants her around anymore because she kills all our parties and hogs all the attention.
But she's might be one of those friends that's they're fun otherwise, and then they get in a group of people and they turn weird.
Yeah.
I met a few of those.
True.
It's like, okay, now we're not hanging out. We're not going out for drinks with anybody.
Yeah.
We'll go to the movies.
Yeah.
We'll hang out at the house.
No,
whatever.
I've known people who hanging out one-on-one, they're fine, but then you take them out to any kind of public social setting and they turn into like an animal, like a totally different person.
Yeah. And it's like you don't want to stop hanging out with them because you enjoy them one-on-one.
Yeah. But you just can't bring them around all your friends.
Yes.
And then they're going to get upset about that. Why don't you bring me around all your other friends? Well, I think you know why.
We're done with her.
Okay. All right. Here is this one's inheritance related. About 6 months ago, my grandpa died. For simplicity's sake, let's say his estate was worth $1.5 million. In his will, he said that me, my sister, and my cousin each get 1/3. His estate was basically 2 cash accounts, and the other share was his beach home in California. Basically, the oldest got to pick first which they wanted, the second oldest, and then the youngest, which was me. I got the beach house. My sister and cousin got $500K. For the last 6 months, I've allowed my sister to stay in the house whenever she likes, but I just got my first property tax bill, which, for those California beach houses can be insane. Yeah. And I either have to sell it or start making some income off of it. After talking to the real estate agent, I've decided the best course of action is to put it on Airbnb. That way I can still use it if I like, but my sister can pay me to use it if she still wants to go there. Basically, there's not someone renting full time. My sister is furious with me for so many reasons. First of all, I know she's upset because she can no longer use the house for free. But she's also telling me that I am basically becoming a rent-seeking capitalist who is going to ruin the neighborhood, which has been a total classic surf neighborhood since the 1950s. She has written me angry email after angry email after angry email, calling me all sorts of names. She also says it's not fair because her inheritance is gone for her debts, but I still make money off of mine. And that if she had chose the house, I could stay there anytime I want. She's my older sister, and I've always been impressionable to the things she says to me, and I'm feeling a lot of guilt and shame for what she told me. Am I the asshole here? Certainly not.
Certainly not.
Definitely no.
She could have chose the house.
That's right.
She had the first choice.
Once you get once you get it, it's yours. You can't say, here's what you have to do with it. Grandpa gave it to her, basically. Each of them chose the cash out. It's kind of just like those lottery people who just take the automatic cash and then they find out it's, like a third of what they thought.
Yeah.
Then if they took it out over time.
Yeah.
She's just taking her inheritance out over time.
Yeah.
And tell the sister, if she's upset about it and she wants to buy it, here's the listing price.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure it's worth more than $500,000.
Definitely.
So
that's the older sibling's fault. Just you should have chose the beach house.
And why'd you have so many debts? What a loser.
If you had to spend $500,000 on your dets, that's
what a loser.
That's on you.
Yeah, property's always the best investment. She could have spun that into a lifetime of income.
Yeah.
And that's what the girl's doing now. She says she's a capitalist. Welcome to the United States. Hello. That's what we do here. So, younger sister, stop being a weenie. Tell your sister to kiss your ass.
Yeah.
And if she wants to buy the house for the 2.8 mil or whatever it is going to cost her, she can do it and stay there every day if she wants.
Yeah, she can live there.
That is if you want to sell it. If you don't want to sell it and want to be a money-grubbing capitalist, like Nate wants to do the least amount of work for the most amount of money, that sounds like what that is. That's what you should do. And you're younger. Your older sister's going to die before you. So you got longer to live. You've got to make some more money. Oh, it's true.
Yeah, you're pretty good at this. You're like a regular Dr. Laura.
Oh, that's probably trademarked.
I'm sure there's one already out there.
Yeah, there might be.
Why don't we call you Laura PhD?
There you go.
And just have we'll have a graphic below you that says she does not hold a PhD of any kind.
Doctor. I play a doctor on TV.
You're like a metaphorical doctor.
Yeah, like Dr. Oz or Dr. Phil.
Exactly. I play a doctor on TV.
Yeah.
That's me. Go ahead.
Okay, this is the last one I picked out. This one's a little heavier.
Uh-oh.
Okay. My sister has 2 children, 4 and 2, and is married. For the last 2 years, she barely made it to the end of the month, and all the family know they struggle financially. My partner and I are doing financially well and have no kids.
Oh, they're gay. Okay.
2 weeks ago, my sister called me and asked me to come visit her.
Gay people always have more money.
Well, because they don't have
kids,
women and children. Somebody, I forget who I was watching the other day, but they said that the poster for the LGBT community should be 2 lesbians paying their mortgage on time.
Well, that's true.
Okay,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Regardless of whether or not the writer of the article happens to be gay. 2 weeks ago, my sister called me and asked me to come visit her since there was something very important she needed to tell me. When I arrived, she immediately broke down crying, telling me how she was pregnant again and how she doesn't know what to do. She even didn't tell her husband at that point, and I was very surprised to be the first person to know since we're not really close. Anyway, she continued saying they don't have the means to support the other child with all the debt they already deal with. I tried to calm her down as much as I could, saying that there will sure to be some solution to handle the situation. After a while, she looked up how much abortions cost, and she told me she looked up how much abortions cost and that even if she wanted to, she could not pay for it at the time. So I basically offered that if she decides to abort, I would take care of all the medical bills coming from that procedure. She asked me if I could afford that. So I told her she doesn't have to worry. Well, abortions are like $500, $600.
But they're covered under insurance most times.
Okay.
Anyway.
Either way, it's not a crazy amount of money. Since I don't use up all my money every month, I'm usually able to put some into savings, and it was okay for me to put 2 of my monthly savings into her procedure if she decides to have it. She thanked me and told me that she needs time to think about it. 4 days later, she asked me to come visit again with her husband home so we could discuss how to go about it. I drove there that same evening. They greeted me, and her husband told me that he's really happy that I decided to help them in a tough time like that. She told me how she thought about it and said that she wanted to, quote, accept my offer. However, she didn't want the abortion, but suggested that I should give the money for the abortion as well as a little bit every month since I don't spend all my money anyway. I was pretty much bewildered. I did not offer that. I told him straightforward, I will only give them the money for the procedure, but I won't be financially supporting them in any other way. Her husband blew up, telling me I'm an asshole for, quote, wanting to pay to kill his child, but not supporting them to make it live a good life instead. I was overwhelmed by the situation and left immediately after. My sister texted me the following days, relentlessly about how I don't love her if I don't support her decision and how I'm forcing her into the abortion. They also told the rest of the family, which are also firm to believe I'm a massive asshole in the situation because I don't, quote, need all of that money and I could easily support them.
Sounds like her entire family is
A
a bunch of
trailer
crazy
trash.
assholes. It's not her job to support anyone in that family.
How about get some frickin' jobs?
Yeah, that guy's getting all mad.
The guy's getting mad. He
You'll
needs
pay to
have
kill
another
my kid,
job.
but you won't support
she
it?
Needs to have
That's
a
your
job.
job.
In a day. What if she has another child too?
She's got 2 children already.
Yeah.
What the hell?
If you already can't make it with 2, what do
I
you think
know.
your sister's going to... And she said they're not close.
You know what? I have a perfect solution for her. It's not your brother. He doesn't need his money because he probably went to college and he probably didn't get pregnant at 18 and he probably has a really good job. But aside from that, you don't have to kill your child. Adoption, they'll pay all your medical bills. They'll pay you a stipend.
Right.
There you go. You don't want that
use that
child
money-
living your lifestyle anyway, taking handouts from your family.
Yeah.
Get away. Stupid girl. I am so shocked. I would like to see the husband. What kind of... I don't want to say that word.
Asshole?
No.
I don't know.
What kind of pussy is he that he
Oh.
can't support his family?
Well,
What the hell?
yeah.
I'm not saying, okay, you don't have a college degree. Clearly he doesn't. And you're working at the 7-Eleven in the day. That's fine. Dairy Queen's open till 11 o'clock. You can work at the Dairy Queen at night. Just start to...
Yeah.
God knows I've had a lot of jobs
Clearly
at the
that-
same time.
That guy's just lazy and doesn't,
Obviously,
have the
I
drive
would-
to support his family.
You know, aren't you kind of curious, like at least what state they're in?
I would love to see a picture of the
Alabama,
family.
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I
And
would
then the
guess.
rest of the family too. Wow, you're not going to support him?
Because you don't
No.
need your money. Yeah,
And
I
then
do.
if the rest of the family say,
I
hey,
need
it's
my money so I don't live like you people.
the rest of the people, it's your family too. You give them some money then. If we all pitch in a
Nobody
little
should
bit
be
every
giving
month.
anybody any
no,
money.
that's what I'm saying. If they want to yell at you, yell right back at
Unless
them.
she has no arms and legs.
Yeah.
And he is blind and deaf. Well, even at blind and deaf,
You could do
probably-
something.
Well, yeah. What's that guy up on Finn Hill that was she was blind and she was the she wrote the newspaper for the Metro Transit or whatever.
Oh, shit. I have no clue.
And he was blind and he was a lobbyist. You need to see nothing. They can write.
Remember there was a
I'm
blind
sure those
couple.
people don't have any of those problems. So
Yeah.
get off your lazy ass. Stop. Get out of bed. First thing.
Yeah.
If you can't afford kids, why are you...
Don't have them.
Birth control's free. Planned Parenthood's free.
Well, why is it that stupid people just are allowed to have as many kids as they want?
Because they're the ones that don't think about it. The smart people realize, I can't have a kid.
This world's becoming
yeah.
idiocracy.
Like her brother.
the-
I can't have a kid because
Stup-
I want money.
You know,
Yeah.
as people get more educated and more wealthy, they have fewer children. These are basic population statistics. But stupid people just breed like rabbits
Why?
because they're stupid.
Yeah, because they're dumb.
Because they don't consider the consequences of their actions.
Anyway.
Okay, here I pulled up another one for you. Am I the asshole for not wanting to pick up my wife from the airport at midnight?
Yes.
I was going to say probably, without hearing the story, just a
Yes.
probably on this
My
one.
wife is coming back from a 4-day business trip. Her flight is just under 3 hours, and she will be landing around 12:30 a.m. Airport is about 30 minutes away from our home. She generally hates flying in this late. Asked if I could come pick her up to the airport. The airport is O'Hare, if that matters. It's a busy airport. There are hundreds of business travelers coming through even at 1 a.m., and a huge fleet of taxis and Ubers standing by to take them home. If this was a little airport and she was waiting by herself for a taxi for 20 minutes, you would not be reading this post. As much as people are sensitive to it, safety is not the huge issue here. It says, I have to get up early for work the next morning, wouldn't get home till 1 or 1:30 in the morning. I get why she wants me to come. It would be a good thing to do, but I also feel like she'd be completely fine just taking a taxi this one time. Am I being lazy, or am I being a lazy asshole here, Reddit?
Lazy asshole.
Yeah, the edit at the bottom. What was the edit?
It says he went to go pick her up from the airport.
But yeah, because he's being a lazy asshole. She's on a goddamn business trip, so clearly she's working.
Yeah.
But he's working too. He's got to be up. He's got to be up for work.
He's got to get up early.
But
one time.
Yeah, I was gonna say one day.
It's not every day. 30 minutes.
One day.
What's so terrible about taking a taxi or an Uber? Why is that the worst thing in the world?
It's not. But why should she have to when her husband's at home?
It's not the worst thing to not get a full night's sleep for one night either, too. It's not that bad.
It's not.
I'm sure she would go pick him up from the airport.
And I'm sure he could probably say, call in. I'm going to be an hour late because I had to pick up my wife.
Yeah.
I'm glad he did it because, I would say you were an asshole.
Yeah, but...
Well, he probably got so much bashback in all the comments.
I can see you would not do it.
I would not.
Go pick her up.
Depends how early I had to be up and what I was doing the next morning. Because, see, I'm not a person who requires a crazy amount of sleep. So if I get home at 1 and I've got to be up at like 7 or 8, I'll be okay.
I do need my sleep, but I'd still, every time someone needs like a ride to the airport.
You'd be 2 hours late anyway, so they'd be in long home and bed and unpacked by the time you got there.
If money wasn't an issue, why not just take an Uber? I don't see why that's so terrible.
People get murdered in Ubers.
I know. Who wants to get in?
At 12:30?
You're talking. You're in Chicago at 1 o'clock in the morning, getting in some random Uber. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I took an Uber in. That was the first time in Atlanta.
Oh yeah.
It was in the middle of the day.
Yeah, I took a Uber when I was there to get back to the airport.
Yeah.
She was a nice black lady.
Well, no, Nate made me take the damn subway.
You took the train. Okay, so at the Atlanta airport, the train station is in the airport. You take the train. You don't even have to leave the airport to get on the train. And then it took you right to, 15 minutes from where I lived. That was so much more convenient for both of us because you would have just been sitting in traffic that whole time.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, I didn't realize there's like a vote next to it. Either not the asshole or asshole.
Yeah, people vote on them.
Oh.
What are the ones we already read? I didn't even get to look.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure.
Does it show at the top?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we agreed. The no filter friend was voted not an asshole. The Airbnb girl was not an asshole, and I think the guy with the car, I think he was voted asshole.
But you should ask your viewers out there to write it. Maybe to write into you.
Well, we've got like 6 viewers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe once we have more.
Well, once I'm on the show and giving out
then
advice,
then it blows up.
People will want to hear what I have to say.
Hey, honestly, it could work that way because Dan Le Batard wasn't too famous, and then he put his dad on a show, and it blew up.
What is that shit my dad says?
No,
he's a sports writer.
Highly questionable.
Yeah. His dad doesn't know anything about sports, and he's a sports writer, and he just comes on and says crazy things.
Oh.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting.
Well, why were you guys talking about farting? That's so ridiculous. I mean,
we were?
I wasn't talking about farting. I was talking about shitting my pants.
Why did you do that?
Yeah.
Oh,
because I got sick in Thailand.
Oh.
It was connected to a story.
Oh, I have a horrible story, so... For all of you out there, I do work at T-Mobile Park for the Mariners, and I was standing down in my little section, and some people walked by, and I got, that whiff of, I smell shit.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for a kid or something.
Yeah. It was not a kid, was it?
It was not a kid.
I had a feeling.
It was this old man and he had shit all over the back of his pants, on his sock, on his and he walked up and he was like in the middle of the row, so he had to scoot past all those people. And he was with a lady that I would assume was his wife. Couldn't she smell it? But yeah, all the people around him started to move. He had shit all over the back of his pants. I felt bad because he was an old dude, but
how do you just not notice
I wasn't
at all
gonna say,
that you get
excuse
shit
me, sir,
everywhere?
you have yeah.
Excuse me, sir, you're covered in shit.
It was just like running down the back of his pants.
Oh, God.
Like he had diarrhea, but he didn't get his pants all the way down or something. I don't know. It was terrible.
That is disgusting.
It was terrible.
Okay, I've found a couple more. This one's pretty easy. My husband's brother has 2 kids, and his parents babysit them at least 3 days a week. I feel like this has kind of set the expectation for frequency of visits with grandparents.
Oh, jeez.
I just had a baby on July 10th, and my husband's mom has been over to visit us 5 times since then. This was written 4 days ago. So in about 5 visits in 3 weeks.
Okay.
That doesn't sound crazy.
No, it's not crazy.
I know she means well, but it's very stressful to have a newborn and to feel like I have to entertain also. It would be different if she was offering to help with something. Not that I expect that of visitors, but people visiting new parents usually at least offer. She also seems to conveniently always come while he's napping and leaves once he starts getting a little fussy, which is frustrating because any rest or chores I could get in while he's asleep don't get done. She texted me yesterday asking to come for a visit today. This is the first week my husband is back at work full-time, and I'm trying to get into the groove of a new routine. I wrote her back and told her that I'm not really up for visitors this week because I'm getting settled in, and she freaked out and texted my husband asking what she did to offend me. She hasn't talked to me since yesterday after I wrote to her, and she basically implied to my husband that we're being selfish, keeping her grandson away from her. Am I the asshole here?
No.
She was voted not the asshole.
No, she's not. And I mean, you got what you wanted. So what? She doesn't talk to you.
I guess that's what you.
Over it.
I guess that's what you wanted, right?
She'll get over it.
I mean, if you
know
want
what? Don't give in to it. Don't give in to other people's crazy. If you stay in your integrity, Miss Lady, just stay in. Your husband, where was he when his mom is visiting 5 times? Why isn't he entertaining her?
Yeah, good point.
Anyway, and stop, your chores and everything. You know, people have been having kids for a long time. Don't think that your grandparents are going to babysit your kids because they already had their kids.
You got to talk closer to the microphone.
They already had their kids. They don't need yours too. So if they do it, yay, good for you. If they ask, hey, we'll watch them once in a while or once a month, but don't expect that. And, so what? Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Just don't talk to her. She's not your mom anyway. Whatever.
Here's a one for our young viewers out there.
Oh.
So, Kaylee and Cassidy, I know you're watching. This can be for you. I, 17M, was horrendously bullied by this guy. We'll call him Jake, also 17. Jake was quite popular and sociable, but for some reason kept targeting me, calling me names, slurs, etc. I hated him so much, I'd hate going to school, and him being in class, I dreaded it. Well, we found out that Jake unexpectedly passed away in his sleep. When I saw this on Facebook, I saw lots of RIP posts from classmates, but my first reaction was relief. I felt a weight lifted off my shoulders. When I came to class, people were crying, and my teacher said we need to take a moment of silence for him. After the silence was done, I just said out loud, I don't care that Jake died. He was a bully.
Yes, you're an asshole.
People looked at me instantly and gave me death stares. Yep. I could hear some people muttering swear words.
Yep.
But then some people came up to me and thanked me. They said they hated Jake too. Honestly, I'm fucking glad he's dead. I feel so much better about my life now. Some classmates called me asshole. His girlfriend, now ex, LOL, came up to me and called me every name under the sun. Asshole was one of them. I just said to her, you need to calm down and relax, and walked away. I honestly feel good, and so do some other classmates. Am I the asshole?
Wait,
yes, of course you
the
are.
edit at the bottom? He
you know
explained
what?
this.
That thing, I'm not saying anything, but I'm thinking it. doesn't get you in trouble. Your opinions are your opinions, and especially when it comes to something horrible like that.
Yeah.
You might not like somebody, but to wish him dead, that's gross.
You don't need to say
He
it out
didn't say
loud.
he wished him dead. He said he
glad
was
dead.
relieved.
No, he said, I'm glad. He
say,
stood
"I'm
up and
glad
said,
he's
I'm
dead."
glad he's dead.
Yeah.
Which, that's for your own inner thoughts.
That's too much.
That's that person that doesn't have a filter. You don't have a filter, and I'm guessing that he bullied you because you don't have a filter. You're a weirdo.
He probably can just say that to his close friends that maybe also got bullied by the guy or something.
I wouldn't say it to anybody. Keep it to yourself, for God's sakes.
I don't know. The guy is an asshole that was a bully, but he doesn't need to die.
That's true. Well, he didn't say he didn't beat him up.
Okay.
He just said.
That's
said
true. He's just
called
calling
them
you
names.
He's just calling you names. Quit being such a pussy. Jesus.
I know. 17.
I guess if that's how I want to think about names for bullies, every one of my friends has been a bully to me my whole life. Both my brothers, anyone that I went to school with, they were all bullies.
Were they?
Yeah, if name calling is bullies,
yeah.
then every single person I went to school with was a bully.
Called you slurs too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm pretty sure we only communicated in slurs from 9th to
Especially-
12th grade.
Yeah, back then.
Yeah, this was before the
PC culture
before the
set
woke
in.
era, for sure.
Exactly before.
Yeah, I am very glad that social media wasn't as big as it was when we were younger, because social media was a thing, but when we were in high school, it's still a thing. Like pretty much only kids did.
Yeah.
So there wasn't employers on Facebook. There wasn't all this other crazy stuff like that. And kids today have their whole lives documented on social media. Wait till you see, a presidential candidate who they bring up, shit he said in 8th grade.
It's happening to a lot of sports guys. It'll eventually happen to presidents. They're just not old enough to,
Exactly.
be running for president.
Exactly.
Yet. 20 years from now.
Because you can't get rid of it, even if you're racist.
You said a lot of gay and
track
racial
that stuff down?
slurs.
Well, there are people whose whole mission in life is to get you.
They just want to.
So
some losers just look back.
If there's
7 years into your
But how
Twitter
do they,
feed.
I mean, I don't know, especially I guess Facebook stuff stays up there. But now with Instagram, I guess it doesn't really go away. That's what I heard.
Facebook has memories where it says, on this day 8 years ago or whatever. A couple times it's popped up on mine and I've been like, ooh. Where it's just something I posted, but then it's not usually what I posted that makes me do that, but then I look at the comments.
Yeah.
Where it's me, you, Micah, Stu.
Oh, man.
All talking to each other. I'm like, God. I'm going to delete this so some future employer doesn't look back on and be like, you use 100 slurs in one comment?
I had actually deleted my Facebook entirely, and the only reason I started using it is when I was working for that clothing company. I had to do a lot of social media shit, and the guy was like, you have to be on Facebook.
Yeah.
So I begrudgingly drudged my old account up again, but I really just don't get as much out of it as I did when I started using it. When you started using it, it was... you kept in touch with people there. Mm-hmm. You kept in touch with people you wanted to keep in touch with, and you saw news and local events happening. And just now that they expose the Facebook algorithm for feeding you stuff that's just going to make you mad.
Yeah.
They find your Facebook friend who posts the most and holds the complete opposite views you do,
so
and
you
just
can argue
feeds
with
you
them.
their content constantly. Mm-hmm. So you'll eventually take the bait and say, well, no.
No, I never, ever, ever argue with people on the internet
either.
anymore. Or just in general, I don't argue with people because
I don't argue.
Once I got
my
older,
brother-in-law,
just
maybe.
realized what's the point? This person is not going to change their mind. Why am I arguing with
But
them?
yeah, I'm real.
Unless I actually think they might change their mind, then no.
I'm really just not getting out of it what I wanted to get out of it and what I was getting out of it before. It's not making me more informed. It's not making me more entertained. It's not making my life better.
Yeah.
What I think in your business, though, you really need to have an account, a Facebook account.
Yeah, pictures and whatnot.
Yeah.
You can have it.
Well, that's just another way to get your name out.
Yeah,
It's basically
you
a
can,
resume or something.
It's more important to have an Instagram account, probably.
I don't know how to do Instagram.
It's not. It's
only pictures. It's
yeah,
very easy.
it's not that complicated.
Picture and video, and
I
that's
don't know how
it.
to do that.
Here's another one that I had discussed with Carrie a couple of years ago. Am I the asshole for refusing my daughter to allow my daughter to participate in high school cheerleading?
Here we go. Oh,
Did
yeah. He hates
did
it.
Carrie do that?
Well, no, Carrie didn't do it, but
Cassidy.
You just
Cassidy
talked about
does.
it?
I just said that.
Cassidy does.
I just
Oh,
said
she
that
does cheerleading?
cheerleading is kind of fucked up for a lot of reasons. We'll read this guy's post and then I'll share my personal thoughts on that. I have a son that's entering 8th grade and a daughter that's entering 9th grade. Both of them have always been bookworms, very studious and cerebral, just like their dad. I also played sports all through school, and I value the experience that brings. I've always tried to push them to join sports, but neither one of my kids wanted to. I tried to insist maybe they would have fun. We don't know until we try, even if it's just to make them exercise and meet a new friends. My wife insisted I back off. Fair enough. First of all, if I had kids, they would be in sports. It would not be optional. At least for the first few years,
when they're really young.
If they're like
social skills
if they're
and
like
stuff.
7 and 8 and 9 and they just hate it, then I'm not going to make them.
Yeah.
I'm not going to send them back there year
There
after
you
year
go.
after year.
But really young, like learn how to use your feet so you're not a complete
Just
moron.
and just
Yeah.
run around, burn some energy,
get
and
some coordination, learn some social skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. Get some friends.
learn how to be on a team.
No, I mean, there's a lot of friends I had from school. It's like I became your friend in Little League.
Well, that's true. So it's kind of a different camaraderie.
and especially when you move up from elementary school to middle school and middle school to high
shit,
school, you're like,
you were on my team.
Yeah, we were on a baseball team, so I already know this person. You already
Yeah.
know these people. Okay, so it says, now my daughter is entering high school and wants to become a cheerleader. She has never wanted to do anything even remotely close to cheerleading at any point in her life. She has actively made fun of cheerleaders, but one of the popular girls moved in down the street last month and she's become a mainstay around my house. She convinced my daughter that she has to become a cheerleader in high school because she was, quote, a loser in middle school and you don't want that to happen in high school. I said no. I don't appreciate that reasoning. My wife explained to me that I don't know what it's like to be a girl in high school, and I say, okay, how is that relevant? I also don't appreciate cheerleading. It's too dangerous. Girls get severely injured doing that, and for what reason? We don't have the insurance to cover it. Lastly, I don't like the sexualization of the whole thing. Those outfits are a bit skimpy, and we're talking about high school girls. My wife says I'm focusing on the bad and not the good. Most girls don't get injured, which I don't necessarily think is true.
Of course, that's true. Most of them don't.
I think
Otherwise, no one would do it.
I think most of them don't get paralyzed, but I think every girl who
Yeah,
spent a
some
decent amount of
kind of
time in
injury.
cheerleading has
Yeah.
sprained an ankle or twisted a knee or
I was
something like
thinking
that.
like major
That's what I'm
injury.
talking about. It says, I'm the pervert because I'm making it sexual. I pushed her to join a sport. I let my son play sports. She'll have a much better high school experience. I'm still like, fuck that shit. My reasoning is sound. She's not in it for the right reasons, and the benefits are lame. So first of all, cheerleading is classified by high schools and districts and states as an activity and not a sport. And because it's considered an activity and not a sport, the coaches don't need to have the state mandated first aid training that like a football coach would have to have. They don't need to have the safety regulations are a lot more relaxed around that sort of thing because it's an activity, not a sport. Second of all, you got, 90-pound girls being thrown up in the air and dropped on their heads. People are getting paralyzed and dying.
Yeah.
And second of all, it really is just a racket to make money because there's one company that owns all the cheer competitions. And by the way, they also own the companies that make all the cheer uniforms. So it's
So someone's smart.
basically it's a racket. They're purposely skirting the law, and kids are getting hurt because of it. And also the whole sexualization thing, especially when the reason I got into it with Carrie is because her daughter was like 8 and 9 when she was cheerleading, and I said, if you want to get out on the field and play something. You don't need to be doing this.
Well, I see they say he's an asshole, but I'm saying, sir, you don't have to worry because if your daughter was a loser in junior high, she's not going to make the squad.
Because the other
You know
girls
what? That
won't
might
want
be a
her
good
on the.
point.
But if the popular girl says that she should be on the
She
squad.
can try out.
But that's what I'm saying. If she's got the.
If she's never played a sport, you think she's going to make cheer?
That's what I was going to
Yeah,
say.
and if she's
too.
never-
She's not.
if
Now,
she's
what are you
never
worried
played a
about?
sport or
Don't fight with your
nothing.
wife. She's not going to make the squad.
Unless she's one of the big girls that's going to be throwing them in the air, I don't think she's making it.
She's not.
I think even they usually have a background
Yeah.
in gymnastics
Yeah,
and
they
stuff.
do.
Well,
They
usually they're like guys too. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, she's not going to make it. And
But if she had the popular girl telling all the other girls to let her on the team, then I think she might actually make the team,
don't
and then
think
she'd be
so.
in a real world of shit because she's not athletic, she's not trained.
I don't think so. because you have to try out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You try out in front of a whole panel of people.
They go, wow, you suck.
They're going to, yeah, you have no athletic ability whatsoever.
Yeah.
No coordination. So don't worry about it. That's ridiculous.
Okay.
That's what I say anyway. That's my opinion.
I think
I'm sticking to it.
I think we really just don't need cheerleaders anymore, though.
I don't know. The Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders have their own TV show now.
They don't make shit for money, though.
And the NFL cheerleaders sued the league because
They make like crazy little amounts of money.
and they're expected to show up at all these events and do all these team appearances and a lot of stuff like that.
They're just
Land yourself a
doing-
player and you'll be fine.
That's just it. They're just doing it for the glamour and the fame. They're not doing it for the
Attention.
money.
They
They're
want the
not doing it
attention.
for the money.
And by the way, at least I saw the Jets cheerleaders. They weren't that good looking.
At least we got good ones. All you get to do is go, you want the attention, but most of the time you're going to appearances at like
At
junior
shopping mall-
highs
in a
and
shopping
shopping
mall?
malls, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and
part of the game.
going
Where
up
people give
going
out-
up to the suites where the creepy old guys are sitting. Take my picture.
Yeah.
People asking for your autograph for no reason at all.
Yeah.
I got the picture of the seagulls. Oh, we'll sign it for you. I just want the
No,
picture. Don't
yeah.
cover it up with the ink. Don't cover it with the ink.
Are you done with my opinion?
I think
Still want to keep going?
okay. Well, I don't.
You can do this
You
again.
might
don't-
have to split this one up into two.
Yeah, you are.
yeah.
You've got to shorten your podcasts.
I don't have
Don't
any
want-
more.
People don't want to listen to you for an hour. They just don't.
What, you think we should do half hours?
Exactly.
Could be done.
I know it can be done. You'd have more of them.
Well, we had
I
a
think
whole
it could
thing
be
to do
done.
today. We didn't get through all. We got videos in the advice section, and that's
Oh.
it.
Did you do the videos?
John came down here and did them with us.
Oh, when you were looking at
And
the
he wasn't very entertaining either.
Well-
He didn't say too much.
Yeah, you just
And then he told us a very mediocre story about the bus.
yeah.
I was so excited when he started.
Yeah.
I got one. And then it was just about a guy that didn't have money to pay for the bus.
Oh,
That's
that's
annoying.
That's his big.
That's a no. Where's the
So
you
what?
know? You tell us stories about people shitting at Safeco.
that's-
I want where are the people that shit on the bus. You know they're
what
out there.
Oh, and the drunk people.
Yeah.
The drunk people.
Oh my
that try to
God,
hit
the
on
druggies, the drunk people, and the homeless.
The drunk
which are,
people.
you know,
the drunk
kinda-
people usually aren't at the. They are drunk at the game, but they're not as bad at the game at the concerts as when they're
Yeah.
ridiculous.
And we didn't run into too many belligerent people at the comedy show. I was pretty surprised. I thought that
Well,
don't usually.
okay. So this will lead us into our next topic.
miserable.
We
So hot.
we went to a comedy show on Friday. Joe Rogan, Dave Chappelle, Ian Edwards, Donnell Rollins.
biggest crowd
It was-
ever
yeah.
at the Tacoma
It was the
Dome.
most tickets ever sold at the Tacoma Dome.
By the way,
What'd they
I
say there's-
tried to get tickets to Joe Coy at the. It was sold out immediately.
Oh, this show, I bought tickets
It was sold out within an hour.
I bought tickets 20 minutes after they went on
Yeah.
sale, and the tickets me and him were sitting in, which were the best available when I
top
bought.
of the Tacoma Dome.
We were row T.
You know where the
And
guy with the spotlight
Yep.
was?
The spot
His
guy
sweat
was-
was dripping on me.
He was behind us, and
He
there was
was
like
right
two
there.
rows.
Fortunately,
next
they
to
have
him.
a big screen and you can see the people, but
Yeah.
what the hell? Yeah, I did try to get Joe Coy tickets.
Yeah, but in the Tacoma Dome, they did they did the theater in the round. It was like a boxing ring in the middle of the whole stadium. And it was just so hot
They
in
said
there.
22,000 people were in there.
Did you go there recently?
Yes,
on-
just
it
on
was on
Friday.
Friday.
With the paneled siding and all that stuff.
Just
It was
it was so hot in
hot
there.
I
Oh
probably
my God.
lost 4 pounds.
What are they doing about that?
I
About that dome?
I don't know. I hadn't been in there in so long, and I remember going in, and then I looked up at the ceiling, and it's like, God, that looks just bad. It's just all the exposed wood up there.
That's why I'm thinking.
Put some kind of ceiling on there. Or
But they
something.
have all the
Has it always been?
a
up
lot
there?
of the biggest acts do their concerts there. Like Justin Timberlake played at the Tacoma Dome.
Bieber.
Think
I mean,
you took
like you said, if-
grandkids
Kaylee,
to see Justin
Justin
Bieber.
If you can
and
fit
Ellie
like
Goulding.
20,000 people in there, that's enough for a concert.
Yeah, well,
It was
don't they have money to?
that was
fix
way
it?
too many.
I
people
Who
was
owns
in
that?
there.
Is it the city?
It probably is Pierce County that owns it.
It would look a lot better if they just put something on the roof.
I was saying for a summer show, they should have had that show at the baseball stadium.
Yeah, that one
Very
stupid douchebag. Oh, could you live in Seattle? No, it's because it's hot as shit. It's like 95.
It's hot as shit in here, and I'm waiting 25 minutes just to take a piss.
Yeah,
it took us 40 minutes in the beer line.
It was just.
Were you in the beer line? Here's my beef. Were you in the beer line while the show was going on?
No.
Okay.
Before.
People
we
do
got
that.
2 beers each and then watch the whole show.
Yeah.
People do that. It's like you can't sit there for 2 hours and watch a concert. You're in the beer line through half the concert.
Hell when they did intermission. 15 minutes to go to the bathroom
No.
and get beer if you want. We spent all 15 minutes in the bathroom line. It was an entire semicircle.
Yeah,
of
just
people
a mass of
funneling
people slowly
in.
funneling into one door. It was.
We were probably in that line for 13 minutes.
It was a great show, a fantastic show,
Just too
but
hot.
just August in the Tacoma Dome, don't do it, man. For a sellout show, don't do it.
Or what about the White River Amphitheater? Why couldn't they have used that?
I don't think
That's
that
outside.
that's not going to seat 20,000 people.
I also, how I said I started following,
But that is a great stadium.
Donnell Rollins and them on Instagram, and in the story I said they were going to Salt Lake, so it is some kind of tour, maybe not a very big one though. But in Salt Lake City, Joe Rogan opened up for Chappelle, so it was not how we saw
They
it.
didn't do quite the same
Because
order.
Donnell Rollins was the one that called Joe Rogan out to the stage.
So they had like 2 headliners.
So
at
they
the
must
show
have
we
not
went
had
to.
an
First
intermission.
there was an opener, and then there was
2 openers.
well, yeah, there was the first opener was a girl. She did like 15 minutes.
Pre-opener.
And then like the middle guy, he probably Ian
Might have done,
Edwards
like,
probably
a
did
half hour.
close to 30 minutes. And then Joe
He was
Rogan
so funny,
and then
too.
Joe Rogan did an hour after that. Maybe a little over an hour. And then they
think he did.
had intermission, and then like the DJ played some songs while everybody got back to their seats.
Got everyone excited for Chappelle.
And then they brought out Donnell Rollins. Donnell Rollins did maybe 20
that's right.
20 minutes.
Then he did a little more songs.
And then Chappelle came out, did maybe an hour and some change, and then
I think for sure he did the longest of the night.
and then
Chappelle.
Joe Rogan came up, and the 2 of them were on stage together.
It was them 2 and Donnell Rollins.
He was in the crowd, like getting
They were all
clowning on people.
Because Dave Chappelle said, "Oh, can I have a?" Because he always smokes on stage. It was weird seeing someone smoke too.
Yeah.
He said, "Does anyone have a cigarette?" And then the whole stage was
jeez.
surrounded, and they said, "Wait, we can smoke weed here. Anyone have a joint?" Woof. All the arms shooting up. You could see him stick into the spotlight.
Yeah, people. There was the girl in front of us was smoking weed in the
Yeah, in the
Tacoma Dome.
stands.
You can't smoke inside.
She did though,
You can't smoke inside the Tacoma Dome.
but she
I
did.
know he was, but
He's the one-
in the state of Washington. You cannot smoke inside a public building.
Dave Chappelle has his own smoking law where he can smoke wherever.
Apparently,
He's famous enough where I
I
think.
guess he said, "I'm not doing your show unless I can smoke."
I was gonna say,
inside
I
the-"
think if people say you can't smoke on stage, he goes, "All right, you just lost out on a sold out show. As many shows as I want to do, they're all going to be sold out."
people always say,
But
even
yeah.
at T-Mobile, they're like, "Well, we're outside."
He was smoking
No,
the
you're not.
entire time. Apparently, that's what Andy's friend did that has not really been to baseball games before. They were sitting
Just
up in the 300 level.
Yeah.
He just pulled out his cigarette, and Andy looked over and was like, "Dude, what are you doing? You can't smoke here.
We're
It's an
outside."
outdoor stadium." Like,
No.
no,
No.
that's still not how it works. But yeah, Chappelle was nonstop smoking.
All they go up to people are like, "Are you?"
Finish one.
Oh, well, I didn't know. I said, "Are you from the state?" Yes. Well, then I think you do know. The law didn't change. Nobody wants to sit next to you and your damn cigarettes.
He smoked enough cigarettes on stage where he ran out, I guess.
Wow.
So he had to ask for someone for some.
That's
But
dangerous.
I would imagine that he probably smokes a couple packs a day. If that's how much
Was
he smokes
funny?
just
I
in
don't-
his set.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
sometimes he's not.
I love him. He's my favorite.
Is he?
Yeah, he was very funny.
Very, very funny. He could also get away with a lot more since he wasn't taping any special or anything.
Yeah, and they make everybody lock their phones away.
Yeah. That's why we didn't
They
bring
give
our
you, they give
phones.
you these like neoprene bags that come with a
It's like
a little locking
It
mechanism.
must have been like a magnetic thing. Because did you see on the
Yeah.
way out, we could have brought him. It wouldn't have been that big of a pain. The
Yeah.
people were just waiting like phone, and I saw someone just hold out the case poof, real quick, and they just took
Yeah,
it.
we left our phones in the car because we knew that at a Dave Chappelle
Yeah.
at all Dave Chappelle shows they make you lock your phone. So he makes you lock your phone away because if you record it and
It gets
and you
leaked.
leak it, that's $70 million that Netflix doesn't
Right,
pay him.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's just another joke he's going to have to think to fill of his hour. Just took
Yeah,
away 10
yeah.
minutes of my special. Thank you very much.
Well, but it's still, buy the DVD if there's something if you want it. So I'm
Yeah.
sure that's what he's thinking.
Both of them were using very non-PC words in the Seattle area.
Oh, yeah.
So that's surprising. But I think with that crowd, I think they were pretty safe. Obviously, Joe Rogan's fans aren't going to say anything. Most of them are like meatheads. And that's Chappelle's thing. He's always been that way.
Yeah,
So
and I think you know that about Dave Chappelle. And even, I don't know, Joe Rogan, I don't think he's very PC on his podcast,
certainly
is he?
not.
Well, he's not.
He doesn't say,
But he doesn't.
the words you're not allowed to say anymore.
He doesn't go out of his way to be PC, but he's also not a provocateur. There are people who just say shit that they know is going to get them buzz.
Yeah.
He doesn't do that. But he also,
I mean, he did say...
he said faggot a lot.
He said faggot and retard quite a bit. And then Chappelle as well said... He said faggot a couple times. He is making fun of transgender people quite a bit. Hilarious. So funny. But, I mean, he brought up a good point of when he was doing Chappelle's show, and he said he wrote a skit, and was it that the word faggot was in there, or retard, or something? I think it was faggot.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the person said, hey, we can't let you say that word on your special... He said he didn't really think about it and said, all right, no problem, and was leaving, but then he realized and turned around and said, so why is it I can't say faggot, but you let me say the N-word over and over again with impunity? And she said, well, it's because you're not gay. And he said, well, I'm also not an N. And it's like, well, that's a really good point. Kind of caught him there.
But he still probably couldn't say it. I don't know.
I'm sure he still couldn't. But that's why he ended up kind of leaving the show, was hypocrisy like that.
Oh, Joe Rogan?
No,
Oh,
Dave
Dave
Chappelle.
Chappelle.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know that. I remember
Them
that.
being like, we'll do this skit. I don't really want to do that. It's not really funny. It's just being
Well,
racist.
and
they
yeah,
said,
no.
well, we're going to put it on. You already recorded it.
And they would say,
Said,
yeah,
okay,
they
I'm
would
outta
make
here.
him do stuff.
That was a pretty
over
funny
and over.
skit, though. Like,
Yeah, it was one certain skit where he felt bad afterwards. Like, it just wasn't funny, and it
Yeah.
was just racist, and I don't think we should put it on. He said, well, we're putting it on. You already recorded it. I said, okay, see ya. I'm done. I don't blame him. It clearly worked out. He still had all those millions from Chappelle's show, took a 15-year vacation, and then Netflix paid him $70 million, so...
To come back.
For two, and then probably $70 million more for the other two, so I think he's probably doing okay.
yup.
Yeah, and I've heard him on the radio a couple times.
Touring a bunch, too.
Yeah.
Sellouts everywhere he goes, guaranteed.
He's just kind of a simple dude. He just lives in the middle of nowhere, Ohio, and
Yeah, he said he lives on a farm.
yeah.
Yeah, but when he left, he left the country.
He went to Africa
Oh, I
or
was just
something.
gonna say,
That's all I ever remember hearing is
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle went crazy and went to Africa. But I don't think he went crazy at
No,
all.
I think he just got the hell out of here.
You greed did this to me, Dave.
Yeah.
Just one of his
The-
old skits.
Yeah, the lost episodes.
All right.
Okay.
You done with me?
Yeah, you're free.
Bye.
Bye. So what do we do now? Do we finish out or do we stop?
I think we could probably just be done there. I mean,
Two mass shootings aren't very funny.
I don't have a tumor on my head.
It's not a tumor. It's not a tumor.
Tumor, I'm sure.
I am certain it's not a tumor on my
think
head.
it's a tumor right here.
It's not a tumor.
What do you think it is?
I don't know. Look at me from.
He has a tumor.
Look at me. Oh my gosh.
I told you.